Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with you, Nicolay.
All right.
I think that you have a really distinct sound and a distinct style to your production.
Thank you.
Did you find that on accident, or did you just experiment one day and it just came up, or?
Yeah, I think it's more accident than. Well, I mean, obviously, there's a part deliberation to it, but just doing it, just really kind of starting out. You know, obviously emulating like your favorites. Like I when I first started really making beats, the first 2 years, like it was just more really kind of doing Dilla stuff or doing Premier stuff or doing stuff that, you know, Pete Rock would do. Just really kind of understanding like just how it was built up more than anything. You know, at some point in time you start to do less and less of your influences and more of yourself. And luckily, just I've been able to work with great people that have also really helped me with that, like Phonte. Like Phonte has really been instrumental in, you know, just kind of picking the stuff out of my work that works. And so like it's not just me even doing that. It's really us as a group also that are responsible for that. But I think it's a really important thing. Like I'd love to be as recognizable as possible, obviously, because it's important that you make your mark. At the same time, I like to be real kind of varied. Like I like a lot of variation. So I also like to kind of keep people guessing sometimes.
For you, I also think you have a very distinct style. When it comes to your writing, do you have a particular process for that? Did you just kind of come up with that as it went, or?
I never really had a process. I mean, it's just as over the years it evolved. You know, when we first started out, you know what I'm saying, when we were first making, you know, Little Brother records, and even, you know, before then when I was doing just records on my own, my biggest fear, and even to this day, is still, you know, as I think as all writers, is the blank sheet of paper. Like that is like the scariest shit ever. And so for me, I would always write my rhymes before going into the studio. And just, you know, being in the studio with nothing, like, I mean, that would scare the shit out of me. And so all from the time we were working on the listening to just, you know, I mean, I would always write at home and, you know, kind of go in the studio. So eventually as time went on, I mean, you know, I got married, had kids. I pretty much couldn't really write at home, quote unquote, because I wanted home to be home. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to be working at home and then going out to work, like that's, you know. So I pretty much had to create in the studio, and now that's pretty much the only way I create now. Like it's pretty much everything's done on the spot. You know, if you gave me a beat or whatever, it's like, yo, I need 16 bars, like I could do it. Versus, you know, 7-8 years ago, like I would fucking piss myself. I was so scared. You know what I mean? But now, you know, that's pretty much the only way I create. I mean, I don't really have a process, so to speak. It's just I put on a beat, listen to it, let it run, turn it up loud, and just go where it takes me.
Do you write your rhymes differently than the way you write the songs, the singing?
Well, not really. I mean, it's funny. Like for a long time, you know what I'm saying, I was doing the quote unquote the Jay-Z method, and I never really. I tried it. I remember the first time I tried this back in like 04 or whatever, 05 maybe. Oh, maybe it was probably like 04. And I couldn't believe, it was around the time that 9th did Threat, you know what I'm saying, with Jay. And he had told us about how Jay did a rhyme or whatever, and he just went in and just did it. And I was like, where? I was like, I don't believe that shit, nigga. That nigga ain't do that shit. He wrote that shit. That nigga lying. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna try it. Like writing around in my head and doing it. And so I did it, and the shit worked. And I was just like, well, damn, okay. I pretty much stayed with that method, like even now, like to this day, that's still where I do it. I can remember being in high school, and same thing. My high school English teacher, he had us write a paper. He was like, I'm gonna have y'all write a paper today. And I was just like, all right. So we pulled out like our pens and pads. He was like, nah, we're gonna go to the computer lab. Y'all gonna write it in there. And we was just like, you know what I'm saying? And I remember being nervous as shit. And I'll never forget him telling me, he was like, man, just relax. You're a good writer. You can do it. And once you write a paper this way, you'll never go back to paper again. Ever since I did that, I never went back to it. You know what I mean? And so with rhyming, it's the same way. It's just like, you know, doing it on just kind of on the spot and like writing and editing in your head without paper. That was kind of my way of doing it. But I guess maybe over the past couple months, you know what I'm saying, for my songs, like I kind of have reverted back to writing some stuff down, and I even like tweeted about it like one night, just because I'm to a point now where I'm kind of starting to miss the physical connection with words and with writing. And you know, particularly with writing songs, I hate when singers sing songs that sound like raps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like writing poetry. You kind of get back to that, and you know, it's just something to be said. Like you can have something in your mind and think it's dope or whatever, but when you actually write that shit out and read it, and you see it, and it's just like, nah, this ain't working. Let me edit this. Right. So, you know, it kind of varies, you know what I'm saying, how I do it. Sometimes I use paper, sometimes I just do it in my head, you know what I'm saying. It just depends on how I feel that day.
All right.